Welcome. Training seminar on catalyzing action, the goals, and we are happy to have we are happy and following through this discussion and the beauty of the we meet together, we converge, and we and up level our impact in our various localities. towards mandate, towards contributing towards this mandate. So I'm really tonight that we are here and we are discussing young people can actively now that was said by say that by 2030 we should have achieved the following goals along these 16 thematic areas. But now that we are 8 years away, being realized, achieved, how far are we? What are the existing gaps? What that is holding us back? Today we're going to be learning and taking what it is that we have to start doing, how we need to update and upscale our impact. So today we're joined by our speakers, a very educated and well capacitated in the room. We have Dr. Sudhir Joshi. Dr. Sudhir Joshi, he has carried out a number of projects in India. He is done the nutrition the project research on COVID-19. Some of the he has held by Moon. The officers are also SDGs. Officers for the officer RC has been nodal officership district elections now. That is Patel Innovation Mission. Ayog has been found and director of the chief for the the chief coordinator for that. You see that he is a man who has been implementing change and implementing impact using knowledge and many more that are being impacted by it. And we are joined Gauta. Gauta is a human rights lawyer. He is a geological researcher here, and he has a number of projects in his team. I will share about it as we continue to engage in this discussion. And we are also joined by Benson Runner. Benson Runner from East Africa. He is in charge of running in his locality. So I really have to have it. Going to be sharing more change makers who are going to work that who have been demonstrating impact. We're going to what they would would like to share with us today? Would you consider maybe unplugging your headsets and then plugging them in again to see if that's that?
That you get idea, and sometimes you get it.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Social logical into social legal. Uh, and could that you
I appreciate your patience.
It's okay. It's okay. But thanks for giving me an opportunity. Yeah. I mean, it has been a long time we have been planning for this session, and it has been like on and off. I mean, there are so many things. Why do we need to think about leadership, and what are the main aspects and what are the main issues which are involved? Something which we shall discuss more and more. And thanks for this platform on why leadership is needed within the movement, because it's uh, uh, your cultural rights movement. Everything depends upon the leadership. What kind of leadership? The movement. One leader you have, but who have same something which strengthens the movement, wherein you are accountable to everyone. So I thought I'd just take a primary session on leadership. And then, of course, what are the components which are revolving around leadership? You can also see the screen over there. It's visible.
It's visible.
All right. So there are many small small words, long words, which have been put together. Which is also it's like about experience. It's about effectiveness. It's about commitment. It's about opportunities. It's about the winning. But the most important, which forms a basic the base of we generally about the word honesty, and then we talk about integrity itself. When we link it with honesty itself, it forms a very important aspect of building leadership and especially when it comes to sustainable development goals. There are different goals which we bring together in this activity. And how did we bring them together is something which honesty and integrity is an important aspect of. How do we bring groups together? How do we bring youth together? And how do we develop leadership in them? Secondly, it's about the outstanding awareness, how much knowledge we have, which to be called as a leader. How much knowledge can be given to others? If knowledge is something which is a very normal, very I would say it's something which is a very simple concept. But when we add awareness, we talk about our rights. And SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, is something which is all based upon your rights, your entitlements, be it civil rights, be it political rights, be it socio-economic rights, be it cultural rights. So that is all about SDGs. And when we know, when we have a knowledge of something, very simple something about awareness, then we have what we are entitled to, a knowledge of what rights which belongs to us, and of course how situation and problems whenever they arise. What shall be the process when there is rights violation, when we are being kept away from any entitlement, and that the leader needs to have self-awareness. You need to know yourself, you need to know the group, and of course you need to know everything about the movement which is happening across. And apparently every single aspect, like if you're talking about a movement which is about the rights, you need to know about what the right is, how many people are affected by the rights, what are the legal remedies we have across the rights, uh, bringing down, zeroing down everything, building up a subject out of sending a message to the youth, especially the group, which again builds up a leadership amongst them. And then you can be actually a good leader. One of the most important point is, do we have a vision? If we are, what shall be the process? So these three things are something which we need to note down. And without a vision, there can be no leadership, because we know towards what we are moving and what we need to do, what we are supposed to do. And of course, with vision, the complementary thing which comes is the ambition, what we want to be. Do we want to be a good youth leader, or we just want to be someone with a face, or we just want to be someone who supports and guides the youth leaders? So there are two things: either we be the mind of it, or we be the face of it, the youth leadership. So that is something which we talk about ambition. What do you want to do? I mean, what do you want to become when we when we are actually talking about leadership?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have to be like, we have to be courageous. Basically, we have to be courageous, as in we need to take decisions, and we need to be ready to take decisions in order to, and this is the youth have this, and from that we that's why I added the term courageous. That's courageous means you shall take decisions, and also you shall risk, and you need to analyze, you need to do a risk analysis, take steps, and the decision shall be yours, and the groups will be following, and you have to take courageous decisions. So yeah, this is an level of communication is something which is capacity building of a youth group, and leading a movement. Communicate, and what is being communicated, something which need, what is speaking is something we note it down, and then you shall be very careful. So that shall creates the whole committee. Is very what are the major qualities of so and what should be done when are the team conflicts appearing within the team and who shall not to a point coming to a solution to build up your team. Basically everything comes down to who all people important and thirdly there is a lot of noise coming
I'm sorry, my
it's okay.
okay.
It's okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thirdly we need to understand power and authority. What power is, we using power and using authority doesn't turns into a negative aspect, because the moment it takes destroy the group, it will destroy the leadership, and ultimately it will destroy the whole movement attached to your work which you're doing. And accordingly you need group culture. What kind of group it is? Is it a diversified group, or minute details of the group are something which is very necessary. And needs and ambition, you first need to give importance to those needs and ambition. What they actually need, and what do they what kind of ambitions do they carry, and what they have in their mind, what vision they have in their mind. Then we need to set up norms within the group, having suggestions from the group, having a good from the group, and then set up the norms, few rules. There is equality for all. Major accountability lies on the leader himself. He cannot blame the group or the people in the movement by saying it was your fault. No, it should not. These words shall not be used. It should be, okay, if you're going wrong, then all of us are going wrong, and the leader is going to take responsibility of the wrong happened in the past, and he shall actually accept it and own it, even if it's someone else has kind of did a wrong. So that's another major aspect of leadership. We have a leader shall keep motivating his or her teammate constantly. That is very that is needed, that is required. The moment you demotivate someone, the moment you say, okay, you're not doing a good work, you can't get more people, what are you doing? Is something which negative emotion in the person with whom the leader is to whom leader is addressing. If he or she really wants to convey something about some work is being done, maybe then he can articulate thing in some other manner, bring it positively in front of the person who's committing mistakes or who has done any wrong. Secondly, the motivation shall be constant. It should not stop at a specific point of time. It should be constant and it should be acknowledged by almost everyone. That okay, fine, this person is doing very well. Let's motivate him or her. If there is an issue with someone in the group, in the moment, then we shall kind of motivate him or her and tell him or her, guide him or her to do better and create an impact in the movement. And then, of course, the concept of positive sanctioning. You make a few rules so that if there are a negative word, wherein saying that we need to set up rules and provide punishment. But this is something wherein we try to bring in a positive thing. Positive sanctioning is in we are not punishing someone. We're just telling them might happen. This is wrong. This might happen. This is wrong. This might happen. But it should not be okay. We'll punish you. So this is very important point. So now I'll just quickly take 5 more minutes and quickly finish off. One more thing shall be included is we need to promote new leadership. We need to promote new ideas. And we should be ready. Someone becomes, we should be ready to accept him or her. Ensure that big, massive issues. People do have ego issues and they think, okay, I'm the leader, I know this thing. But that should not be the case, basically. So that is something also which is important. I'll just send this screen on development goals, basically, and then I'll finish off. Okay, I got a message. I think, thank you. I don't know the exact number, billion people between the age of, I think that they're actually the largest nation of youth in the history. And around 90% of them actually live 90%. Itself make of the where be that is the use. And then point is be connected to each other. Have any opportunity cross any to do that, and then the private they have been while I have been working youth leader
you know, this specific issue within our organization or within this course that uh, our perspective, or maybe of week. What is what is it that you would say is always a great starting point?
All right, thank you, Panisha. So, I'll just quickly respond. I hope the person who asked this question will get him or her out. It's not a movement or an organization. To understand the social aspect to this and deep knowledge we have social aspect attached to the, the and then an idea uh, uh, organization itself will try to find out rules and laws, and the most movement organization or an organization for understanding decide and suggestions leads to every product suggestions. We can build up the all is and social.
Thank you. Thank another question is that just how can I
To promote it in the college, have more and more discussions. Have more and more discussions with the classes. We have more and more discussions with the groups. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And the moment you have more and more discussions with the group, don't talk about SDGs directly. Talk about human rights. Human rights is something which pulls the people. Why? It doesn't, not because everybody cares about human rights, but it looks like a very fancy subject. Okay, human rights. Oh my God, my rights are also getting violated. His rights are also getting violated.
Yeah.
He's talking about. Go and listen. What is human rights? And SDG is nothing but fundamental human rights. The moment you have people about human rights, globally, The moment you go globally, we talk about SDGs.
Thank you so much for your response. Really appreciate that. I hope that this is something that our questionnaire right there is going to reflect on and apply as he continues to engage in the work that he's doing and in the work that they're doing. So here's another question: how and in what manner or mode can pick up with a campaign that will work in order to reach both urban and rural publics, and also how to deal with cultural customs and norms which are not in consonance to achieving sustainable development.
Thank you. Manish, what we need to do? Am I audible? No, right?
Yes.
Instead of directly intervening in the community, good about the society, this much of welfare, I want to be the change agent. Point. What are those cultures? What are those cultures? What are those rules which are not in to understand the society? It's because group is nothing but a diversified group of people who belong to different societies. And that's why I said you need to be inclusive and you need to have a diversified thought process. So that is the due to of tackling the and are not in consonance. Secondly, you need to directly go and talk the grassroots know what they already know is about, right? So you need to
challenging prompts here, especially when you say that the SDGs out there. It's also important those norms which are in consonance. Thank you so much for sharing, and really, I think this is something participants here, and we have another round of questions and your availability and the material that you have shared, the information that you have shared with us tonight. This is something is really important information, especially for change makers and leaders achieving change and implementing the sustainable development goals, especially at grassroots level. At this time, we will now segue awareness of how we can actively engage in this work, right? Um, and about how you can contribute to sustainable environmental sustainability needs the role of you beyond those roles that have been defined already. In what ways contribute this environmental sustainability? Going to hear from Dr. Sudhir Joshi. Is going to be Dr. Joshi. The floor is over to share with us. Thank you. Yes, you are audible.
So, good evening, good afternoon. I'm a district Ayush officer, Government of Gujarat, the Director, SDG Brigade India. I'm of High Forum of United Nations and also various agencies. Today, I'm going to solve my interesting topic: how can youth embrace integrity, especially environmental sustainability. So, as we are innovators, so let me start. What exactly youth are? Youth, being vibrant, innovative, creative, and dynamic in nature, is the important sector of the society. Youth shows passion, willpower, ambition, which are the most valuable human resources for fostering economic, cultural, and country's strength, ability, and potential. So, youth are center point regarding development sectors. If we use this energy positive way, we can embracing change in the community. After all, we want change in the community. We are working for SDG 203. We want sustainable growth, and that is and one mission. So, for youth, I no task without vision. They must have their roadmaps. As United Nations declared 2030 vision. We want sustainable globe.
Yes, yes,
Positive outlook means look for solution, not problems. We are here for
yes.
resolution. We are here for resolution, for solution and then resolution. Look for analysis, look for action,
Mm,
not for analysis. This is what exactly we
mm,
want from youth. And uh, some of the examples I am showing you, as youth very well know about the concept of sustainability. So I am not going in detail, but some examples I am going to give you, uh, like inspiring, awake, awaking and motivating role in the community. Initiating role by starting cleaning plantation campaigns, etc.
mm.
Exemplary role by being an example of eco-friendly acts like reduce, reuse, recycle, etc. As we all know.
Mm,
Close the
mm.
running tap water when not needed. Use the dishwater, and etc. etc. So we are having so many ideas that youth can apply themselves and then show it to the community. Am I audible perfectly?
Yes, yes, Dr. Joshi, you are audible.
Yes, yes, yes. So, insights which we are going to show you as per the direction of the United Nations, five focus area for sustainable environment or climate change. The 5 or 6 focus areas are promoting renewable energy, clean fuel, and energy efficient measures. This is the first focus area. The second one is reducing pollution from all possible sources. The third is adapting to climate change. This is very interesting and very important. In COP27, they are fighting for adaptation. So we are here for adaptation. The fourth is raising awareness and including climate change in education. From school level, primary school level, it definitely under the syllabus climate change chapter. The fifth is promoting research and development on climate change, clean energy, and technology. And the last one focus area is improved disaster management to save life and assets. These are the 6 areas which under the SDG 13, if we achieve the targets and indicators of SDG 13 related to climate change, we will for such initiative which engage youth in a very systemic as well as strategic approach. Youth can do anything. Last I will show you United Nations Development Environmental Program. 7 to 8 initiatives declared by the United Nations Environmental Program, which may useful for all youth. The first is Young Champion of the Earth. Young Champion of the Earth is a forward looking prize designed to breathe life into the ambitions of brilliant young environmentalists. UN has given biggest prize for this. So this is also a good drive. The second is GEO6 for youth. Is a one-stop shop for a young person to understand the state of environment, what they can do every day to drive markets to adopt environmentally sustainable products and services, and how to develop their skills and choose environmentally sustainable careers. This is also important. The third one is green jobs for youth. This initiative is designed to increase demand for green jobs in the workforce
mm,
and help create a
mm,
stronger supply of necessary green and environmental sustainability skills through education. This is also very
mm,
important. The
mm,
Decade on Ecosystem Restoration is also a very good program. Then Tide Turner's Plastic Challenge Badge is also a good program. Playing
mm.
for the Planet is also a good. But I focus on one important program, and that one is Youth 2030 strategy. This youth strategy acts as an umbrella framework to guide the entire UN as it steps up its work with and for young people across three pillars: peace and security, human rights, and sustainable development. In every context, it seeks to significantly strengthen the UN's capacity to engage young people and benefit from their views, insights, and ideas. It
Mm.
seeks to ensure the UN's work on youth issues is pursued in a coordinated, coherent, and holistic manner. So I have narrated very fast but very strategic approach with a very strategic approach that youth can bring change in the community. Youth have a power, ambitious, enthusiasm, knowledge, skill, social media knowledge. So on behalf of our movement and our
Mm.
SDG brigade, and on behalf of global leader, I invite all the youth. Let's come forward, show our solidarity. We are here for global peace, prosperity, and happiness.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Mm, 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 Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Joshi, for such an enlightening and eye-opening presentation. Really, you know, I was seated here, and as I was listening, I was just, just drafting all of these ideas in my head and saying to myself, you know what, I need to start acting, and I need to start acting right now because of, you also touched on the inherent potential that we as young people have already. The critical thinking skills that we have, and the communication skills that we have, and how we can leverage that towards sustainability. And I hope that this message can reach many young people in
Yes.
various localities, and that they can start to act already, and they can start to implement that impact. And so we had a number of questions that came in from our participants, the trainees who registered to attend this session. And the first question that we got was, in what ways can young people engage stakeholders, policymakers in implementing environmental policies, environmental sustainability policies?
Excuse me, what are you exactly saying? How can youth take initiative for policy making?
Yes, how can you young people advocate for environmental sustainable policy making,
Okay.
sustainability policy making?
Youth can do by various acts, like youth can create a dialogue show. They can create a seminar, webinar, model United Nations, some events, posters, slogans. Youth can write blogs. Even in India, youth are very much aware about the blogs, writing blogs.
Mm,
And social
mm,
media is a very good platform for sharing
mm,
and spreading the knowledge and content which they receive, perceive, and after sharing this knowledge, they can reach to maximum people.
Mm, 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 mm. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Joshi. And this is also a question that the question that I'm going to say has also got some input from me. And my question is, we may realize that when we are advocating for environmental sustainability, adaptation, and mitigation, especially in policy making, we may realize that there is generally a lot of resistance, a lot of complacency, especially by many stakeholders who should be, feeding into this, climate action agenda, be it the corporate world, be it, many stakeholders, including grassroots communities themselves. And in what ways can we constructively engage these stakeholders in advocating in this advocacy work?
Okay. For stakeholders, hello. For
Yes.
stakeholders, see, we are working for various sectors like women, youth, civil society organization,
Mm,
stakeholders, NGOs,
mm,
government agencies, and especially the ambassadors. Okay,
mm,
for stakeholders, we have to we have to do two things.
mm,
The first is collaboration.
mm,
The second is partnership.
mm,
We are here for MOUs.
mm,
We can do MOUs, memorandum of understanding, with one agency for such period, with such task, and after accomplishing of this task, we declared the result that this type of gaps minimize. See,
mm,
alone government, alone UN cannot do everything. So stakeholder has to come forward for collective responsibility. This is collective responsibility.
mm, mm,
Collaboration and partnership, SDG 17. In
mm.
SDG 17, they clearly mentioned that the partnership of stakeholders is very essential. So this is the
Mm.
answer, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joshi. You touched on, the most important things that engagement is all about. Collaboration and engagement and dialogue. And I feel, these are at the heart of, collaboration, especially collaboration for the cause, because I think many young people sometimes they may get lost when they are, advocating for these issues, and when they are raising their voices, they tend to get lost in maybe making noise. But I think an important part of making this noise is also making it in a way that is really constructive. And the most important part is making sure that this noise is coordinated and it can be heard, and it can reach the specific audiences for which it is intended. Thank you so much for your response, Dr. Joshi. Really appreciate your profound presentation, and I hope that the viewers of tonight's session, those who are going to be viewing this, those who are currently viewing on YouTube, and those who are going to follow this discussion will benefit immensely, will benefit profoundly, and envisage the unique ways by which they can start to uplevel their impact in advocating for environmental sustainability. Thank you so much, Dr. Joshi, for your time and for your availability. We hope that our speakers have benefited. Our audience has benefited, and they will benefit a lot through this engagement. Finally, we will hear from our last speaker for tonight's session, who will speak on the third pillar that we were touching on, that we've been touching on for tonight. He is Rana Benson from Kenya, and he is going to be talking about is going to be touching again. He's going to be touching on environmental sustainability, and here Benson Runner, he will focus more on a case study, especially mentioning, especially referring to the African situation, contextualizing his presentation, and we will hear more from him, from his insights and his perspectives on how we can catalyze action for sustainable development, especially in the wake of the ongoing climate emergency. So, Rana Ben, the floor is yours. Please feel free to unmute yourself and turn on your camera so that we can begin to hear from you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Other parts are good afternoon.
Yeah.
So my apology. I may not be able to put on my camera.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah. So can I share? There was someone who is going to share for me my presentation.
Can you would you be able to connect from your end, and let us know if there are any issues from your end, and then we can try to do it from this side.
Okay, I share my presentation. So
Okay, sorry, just a minute.
yeah.
Okay. Perhaps you may take this time to share more about yourself to the audience, and what they can look forward to hear from you tonight.
Okay. Yeah. So as we wait to the presentation to be shared on the other side. So as Pranasha introduced me, my name is Rana Benson. I'm from Kenya. Partly, okay, sometimes I live in Nigeria, but now I'm in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an IT consultant and also a counseling secretary. I'm also an SDG champion. And yeah, so yeah, so that is me. And yeah, okay, I'm also a founder of Rana Foundation, which Rana Foundation basically we normally focus on climate change, and also I'm one of those people who always believe that we as human, we are more than one dimension, and we cannot be categorized into one box. So I actually believe that anyone can do more than one thing. So that is the reason why I was able to do both psychology and IT. So I come into a point of try to intermarry and come up with something to solve a certain problem. So as a counseling psychology, I discovered that a lot of people are not comfortable in any space they enter. So I use my IT skills to design some stickers, and so and then I I design stickers with a mental health motivational, which I then used to give people as a surprise. The theme was pass to. If maybe I give you one and you feel like it has not really touched you, you can pass on to another person. So people can stick on their cloth, the walls of their house, and so to the device. And the aim was to see people comfortable. When you are happy, you mean you are comfortable, and when you are comfortable, it means you are happy. So that is what I also do apart from environment, being an activist when it comes to environment. Yeah, so that is what I normally do. Those are the focus areas, and with other many things, but those are two focus areas which I normally do. So in my presentation, uh, because of a change in environment, climate change, I do a study, a field study in Kenya, in a certain county called Marsabit. Here in Kenya, we have a drought over the 40 years. Kenya has ever experienced certain drought, which caused a lot of um, dead to animals, and also to some extent, there are some areas where people cannot even get food to eat. You find some people can even go for 5 days without having anything on their table. So I just come up and I decide to focus or to do my case study in this country called Masabit. So yeah, so I will talk more about it, and I will also talk about how youth in Marsabit are, the way youth in Marsabit are coming up with constructive ways, to advocate, and also the way they are contributing and engagement and do an engagement to curb um, a prolonged drought in that area. So that is the areas which I will really focus on this presentation. So I hope we will enjoy the presentation, and I'm also happy to be here. I'm also happy for you, and for such a chance. So I'm sure if is anybody who is not really able to, is the presentation clear?
Yes, I think
Yes,
it's clear.
here. Okay, so yeah, so Marsabit is an area it's a country in Kenya, covering a surface area of 6.923.1 square kilometer. It has an international boundary with Ethiopia. Ethiopia is also a country in East Africa. Yeah, so a drought in Marsabit. So the situation in Kenya, Marsabit country is desperate. Is desperate. People are walking as far as 40 kilometers to search for food, water, and also pastures for their animals. I've been able to, yeah, 40 kilometers and even more. So I've been able so these are words from one of a mother who really he spoke such words that he have not been able to feed his children since that morning, and then the animal can no longer produce. They are so weak. What caused animal to be weak is because of they are not getting enough pasture and water. So he continue talking about how their children are not be able to be in school, and they have been taking a little water that is available and hoping to get can go on. So you can see picture, can see the animal. You have an animal and a picture of an animal graphic picture there. So it is a situation whereby people are just praying at least to have a rain. So about the area history, Marsabit County has a name of sorry. I'm not able to see the presentation within my side.
Sorry, can you see it now? Sorry, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So as I have talked about Marsabit, it's actually a global grand land for mankind.
Mm.
Currently, there is a huge suffering in the grand land due to a prolonged drought, which is of that kind of an acute food and water shortage. And I don't know why in my side I'm not really getting it well. It is not clear. So the county has not been seeing any rain for the last 2 years now, and the clouds have simply disappeared. So because of this climate change in that area, there has been no even cloud that will give these people hope of getting even a drop of water through rain. So there have been a clear area, no clouds, and people are now losing hope of rains. These people always use rain maybe to do their farming, and now because of a prolonged drought, which they are now not able to feed in any or to do farming. So the last time they have a rain, they 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 do farming. They even use the food they have. So now they have nothing. Yeah. So we'll also see how families are struggling to feed themselves and their livestock. So we will see a dry up of water, plants, and abundant agricultural feed. Mm, Sorry, just and women are forced to work for several kilometers to search for water, and the little agricultural land is covered in a dust with carcasses of spread carcasses are spread across the ground. Livestock and human are all drinks from the same fountain, and with about 10 kilometers away. So imagine the situation of human being and animal using the same fountain. So of course there'll be an alarm of waterborne diseases. Yeah. So families also share the little food they had with their animals in the hope of keeping them alive. So you can see the picture there. Someone is feeding. Imagine the camel with such small. We call it sufuria in our area. So that is the situation. You can also see animal using the same powder with people.
Mm.
So sometimes the food they eat, sometimes they boil for the weak animals so that it become chewable for them and their interface interface with their budget, so that they cannot interfere with their budget. So because they use maize, sometimes when animals stay for a long time without food, they will not be having a lot of energy even to chew uh, meals like maize. So what they do, they try and boil so that at least it will be the animal will be able to chew. So go next. So I found out how this drought affect education. It has not also left education behind. So I found that out that many pupils are yet to return to classes that the third term has just started, and the low turnout is due to lack of food. Imagine people are sharing food with animals, and that food itself is not enough for them. And then many children have turned into a be full-time headers. You know, as I talk about the area, it's a semi-arid area where we will find people who live there are pastorism. So what they do, you find people, students who are supposed to be in schools are the one who are now full-time headers, and they are now forced to travel many kilometers in search of pasture and water for their livestock. And due to their lack of good
Mm.
facilities. Yeah, so that area, you know, it has no good facilities apart from good facilities and which of course maybe places to keep food. It's also a challenge for them. So go to the next slide. So we have malnutrition is at a high record. So several children under the age of 5 face a moderate severe malnutrition, and one can only eat once in a day. And that, if you are lucky, there are people who can stay a week without getting anything to eat. They mostly eat boiled maize, which accelerate malnutrition. Then I will share a certain video at the end of it, just to see how the high record of malnutrition in the area. So mitigation measures. That is, there are bodies in Kenya which are trying to distribute food. Apart from just government only, there are also some bodies like we have the fast what do we call it, fast aid, no, Red Cross, which is chipping on to distribute some food. We have also supplementary feeding, school feeding program, enhancement of integrated outreach programs in the health facilities, and then community sensitization on afforestation. Yeah, so let me talk about how youths um, contributing, the constructive ways that youth are contributing or are engaging themselves to try and curb the drought that is happening in the area. Yeah, so I talked to some of the youth in the area, and these are the feedback. I asked them I really found out that youth are really embracing in irrigation farming. Since we have the fountains around the area, so youth are trying you know, to embrace irrigation by planting foods which are able to do well in the area. You know, the area is semi-arid, so they are trying to do some irrigation, at least to see the way they can drop down um, the issue of lack of food. The other thing is also about you that are also planting trees. As you all know that trees bring rain, trees bring rain, and also trees change the climate of the area. So I visit the area I personally with we had a visit with my foundation. We went there and planted 1 million trees. So we were together with the youth, and they are really trying to see the way they can plan at least they have a mission of the other aspect that they are really putting um, focus on that is planting of trees. We have also providing clean water through provision of treat, treating a water that is by giving out water filters as we have just see from the presentation that people are using the same fountain with animals. So at least when they give out these water filters, they will be able to at least filter water which they collect from the fountains or the well. Then they can now use these filters at least to have a clean water which is going to be um, good in their health. Yeah, so they are really trying to give these uh, water filters at least to every 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 village. I made to be with them when they are distributing, and actually this I found that you are trying all they can, because remember these youth are for youth scholars who just you know come together and find a way to see people having a good health. So they are trying a lot to distribute. Although the area is so large, but they are really try to receive adequate, high adequate rainfall. So what they do, they they they, they conserve food, and they try a way of planting food that are not that they can last for long, not perishable. So what they do, they plant food that they can last for long, and then they conserve food. And then they conserve food. What they are really trying to do to see if they can curb the ongoing drought in the area. So thank you. I see that in my side a pop sound of an end a meeting. So,
Good to see you.
yeah,
We apologize for the cutoff that happened. We hope that our audience will be able to follow through the conversation here on YouTube, and that's those who have been following through the conversation here on YouTube can continue to engage and follow through the discussion and um, share their thoughts in the comment section. So you're more than welcome to share your concluding reflections on um, what you've been talking about at this time, and you can also share some of the important things that you would like, or that you feel, the things that you feel that are important for young change makers advocating for sustainability. The most important things for them to know, and some of your insights and your advice.
um okay, also sorry for the what happened. It's about it is Google things, so we have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a video which I don't know if we still have time, maybe
Mm.
to have a watch on it. It was there was a certain way of alarming way of malnutrition that is really really alerting in the area. Yeah, um so about the question, or maybe an advice maybe I can give to the youth who are focusing on trying to fight for the climate change, and to see the way they can bring back the climate that everybody will enjoy, be it animals and also human beings. Yeah, so it is so great that our first presentation was about leadership. So you know, before you have that passion of engaging yourself to fighting back to the climate that we want, the one we enjoy. First of all, have the qualities of a leader. Be a leader. And the first thing you have to do is to lead yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, leading yourself means you have a goal, you have an aim, and also you identify areas which you will really focus on. So, at least in our locality, we have problems which are affecting areas that we come from. So, and not even just the areas, but globally. So the best thing you have to do is, you know, okay, we are human, and sometimes it will become difficult for us to cover the all areas. So the best thing you can do is a young advocate, find the area which you are sure or comfortable on focusing on. Make sure you have passion on it. The other thing is also know that you will struggle to achieve what you want. The other thing, um, when
Mm.
you do decision, make sure you connect with the responsibility. For example, sir, when I was doing the research, I intend to have that decision, to make the decision of going to that area. It's a 5 area. So I made the decision and I connect the responsibility. So before even I go to the field, I already know the responsibility. So as a young leader, make sure any decision you make toward um, fighting back the, the climate we enjoy all. Make sure you know the responsibility. Then the other thing is about commitment. Be someone who is really committed. Make sure you commit yourself to what you want to achieve. And then the other thing is be a problem solver. What basically I mean is identify the areas you are best, and then always come up with the new and fresh ideas to solve a certain problem. Yeah, so those are the best things. Know yourself, be yourself. After you know yourself, have the aim of you know, focus on the area you want. Then there are those indices, the 4 indices of, passion, know the responsibility, also be committed, and that one of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Yeah. So those are the best thing. If you have, you will be able to achieve what you are really focusing on. Yeah. So it is good to be on that line
Mm.
of identifying yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights, Rand, Benson, in these concluding reflections, and I sincerely apologize for the technical issues that we had, and sincerely apologize for that. And especially part of with the participants that we had in the first room and in the second room, and um, now we're here, and we're also hoping that we'll be able to share video, but again, these are some of the challenges,
Yeah, yeah.
that often,
Yeah, my apology. I was
come.
still in
Yeah.
transit. Yeah. So I was still in a transit, so that is why I was not able to.
Ah, okay, that's
Yeah,
totally fine
my
and
apology.
totally
My
understandable.
apology.
Really grateful for what you shared tonight. When you go beyond just sharing facts, just sharing solid information, but we now need to start looking for climate change, or bracketing things to say, oh, we have got this big issue of this crisis, this climate crisis that is ongoing. It doesn't really appear to, it doesn't really um, demonstrate the reality of the matter, the reality of the depth of the discussion that we are having. And so, what we had here tonight was a, a real life example, and hearing exactly what is going on, especially in Kenya. Really, it's hard- it's really touching, and um, everyone needs to know that we need to act on the climate crisis right now, because we are realizing the impact right now. They are happening right now. They are affecting children in education. They are affecting children's growth. They are affecting youth. They are affecting food security. They are touching all elements of our life, and the future of our world as we know it. So thank you so much for your time tonight, and thank you so much for engaging, and thank you so much for speaking on this matter. We hope that our participants will be able to follow through webcasts, the upcoming webcasts that are going to be coming after this, and that they've benefited immensely from the discussion that we had tonight.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you also for creating this platform, and I know it really motivates. I know it really you know teach. It is an insightful a platform. Yeah. So I'm also happy for uh the chance, and yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you so much, Bana Benson, and thank you so much for your time. And to audience who were able to follow through the conversation tonight, thank you so much for joining. And we really hope that tonight's session was really beneficial for you. And we hope that it can inspire you to start acting today. And thank you so much. We hope to meet you again soon to connect with you and to have a conversation with you.